Welcome back to Coding Content, the only place where feeling like an idiot is actually a sign of progress. Today, we're diving into the murky waters of imposter syndrome in programming, where everyone feels like they're wearing a name tag that says, "Hi, I'm a fraud." Imposter syndrome, the gift that keeps on giving. It's that delightful feeling you get when you're staring at a screen full of code, wondering if you really understand anything at all, or if you've just been winging it this whole time. Spoiler alert, you're not alone. In fact, if you're not experiencing imposter syndrome as a developer, you're probably an alien, or worse, a manager. Let's start with a quick reminder. Programming is hard. I know, shocking revelation, right? But seriously, folks, if it were easy, we'd all be replaced by robots by now, and you wouldn't be watching me yammer on about it. The complexity of coding isn't just about syntax and algorithms. It's about constantly learning and adapting. And with that comes the inevitable fear of being the least intelligent person in the room, or in the GitHub repository. Now, here's the kicker. Feeling dumb is actually a sign that you're on the right track. Yeah, you heard me. It means you're pushing yourself, venturing outside your comfort zone, and trying to learn something new. So, the next time you're facepalming over a bug that took you 5 hours to fix, remember, you're just leveling up like a character in a video game, except with fewer cool weapons and more Stack Overflow searches. Speaking of games, let's play a quick round of Guess Who Also Has Imposter Syndrome? Could it be Albert Einstein? Ding, ding, ding. Yep, even the guy who figured out relativity felt like a fraud sometimes. So if you're worried about not measuring up to your peers or idols, just remember that even geniuses have their off days. Probably because they spent too much time on Reddit, but hey, who am I to judge? One of the reasons imposter syndrome is so rampant in programming is the sheer speed at which technology evolves. New languages, frameworks, and tools pop up faster than you can say, deprecated library. It's totally normal to feel overwhelmed by the constant need to keep up. It's like running a marathon where the finish line keeps moving, and instead of water stations, there are just more tutorials. But here's the good news, you don't need to know everything. Surprise! The secret to surviving in this field is not about knowing it all, but knowing how to find the information you need. That's right, Google is your best friend, and copy-pasting from Stack Overflow is practically a rite of passage. In fact, if you're not Googling at least once a day, you might be doing this whole programming thing wrong. Now, let's talk about how to deal with imposter syndrome. Number 1, embrace it. Accept that feeling like a fraud is part of the process. The more you fight it, the stronger it becomes, like some sort of psychological Voldemort. Instead, acknowledge it, laugh at it, and then get back to work. Remember, confidence isn't about knowing everything. It's about knowing you can figure it out as you go along. Number 2, connect with other developers. Join a community, whether it's online or in person. Sharing your struggles and hearing others' life experiences is a great way to realize that everyone else is just as clueless as you are. And if you do find someone who seems to have it all together, they're probably just a really good actor or a time traveler. Number 3, celebrate your successes. When you finally squash that bug or build something cool, take a moment to appreciate your achievement. It's easy to focus on what you don't know, but don't forget to give yourself credit for what you do know and what you've accomplished, even if it's just figuring out how to center a div without losing your sanity. And finally, number 4, keep learning, but do it at your own pace. The tech world is always going to be a moving target, but you don't have to chase every trend. Find what interests you, dive deep, and become a master in that area. You might not know everything, but you'll know a lot about something, and that's pretty darn impressive. So my fellow imposters, remember, feeling like a fraud is totally normal, and it's a sign that you're growing. Keep pushing those boundaries, keep making mistakes, and keep learning from them. Because at the end of the day, the only true imposter is the one who stops trying. Thanks for tuning in to Coding Content. If you enjoyed this existential crisis with a side of sarcasm, be sure to subscribe and stick around for more programming pep talks. Until next time, keep coding and keep feeling like a fraud, because that's how you know you're doing it right.